Hey everyone, I hope you're having a good day. We're going to start this position right away. Now it is white to move and to try to win this. Now I know that you might say it looks like a draw because white does not have a pawn. We don't have a pawn. If black has a pawn, most likely we have to sacrifice a piece for it or we have to win this pawn. But after that, it might lead to a draw. Well, you're kind of right, you're kind of wrong, so I have to give you some time to pause the video to try to figure out the answer for this. Is it going to be a draw or white has some kind of advantage that could lead to a win in the future? So pause the video to try to find it. Okay, hopefully you got like a glimpse of the idea of what is this position about. First, if you thought about some kind of a knight g3 check, knight to e4, so knight e4 check to win the pawn, well, it doesn't matter where you go, like check because it is a discover check and also double check. So the king moves up, and you cannot really take this pawn because whenever you take it, he will happily take back. After bishop takes, this is a draw. You cannot do anything with one bishop. Even if you play the other check and the king moves up, you still cannot take this in any kind of way. So, how could you deal with this? How could you deal with this? You cannot give this check. You cannot give this check because this pawn can never be taken, and once you take it, it will lead to a draw. So, probably you found the first move, which really impressive. King to b8 to attack the bishop. Really good. Now, the problem is black cannot go to e6 because you have knight to f4 or knight to d4 check because whenever the king moves, now you can win the bishop and the pawn could be dealt with in some way. So of course, black will not give you the bishop right away, so he will go bishop to d7. After bishop to d7, you still cannot play this check or this check to win the pawn because the king's going to get closer, the pawn is going to be pushed, and you cannot win the pawn because whenever you do, it is a draw. And you're trying to win this, you're trying to have advantage. So you play another good move, king to c7, attacking the bishop. Now, black cannot go bishop to a4 because first of all, it loses the pawn. It also loses the bishop. So he cannot do that. He cannot go to a4. What if black went here? Well, that's the same thing. Check on f4, check on d4 to win the bishop. So the bishop has to drop back to e8. Now, you probably guessed it. We cannot win this because we lose the knight, and this is a draw right away. So, you guessed the move. We attack the bishop one more time. Can the bishop go to c3? To c6? Well, the bishop still cannot go there because if knight d4 check, the king moves and we win the bishop. The same thing with this one because we have this check. So, can the bishop go to g6 or h5? Well, whenever it goes here or here, we have this check with knight to e4, discovered check. We're going to win the bishop if it landed on g6 or on h5. That's why whenever we attack the bishop moves again on f7. Now, you probably guessed it again. You guessed the theme of this puzzle. We attack the bishop one more time. Now, the bishop cannot go here or here because of the knight. Cannot go here because of the knight. Cannot go here because of the bishop. Cannot go here or here because of a check with the knight on c1, and we win the bishop in the same way. So he needs to drop all the way back, and now, of course, we play king to f8 to attack the bishop one more time. The bishop cannot go here or here or here or here or here because the knight can win the bishop. So now the only square for the bishop is to go to h7. So now what do? We attack the bishop one more time. So now the bishop is lost. The bishop cannot go here or here on g6. So if he moved the king, for example, you take this bishop. If he pushed the pawn, you can always move the knight, reroute it to put it on f1. So now you're blocking the pawn from pushing. So now whatever he plays this one, he cannot do anything. Black cannot go anywhere. If he pushed, for example, f4, which is the only move in this position, not to lose the bishop, because he's going to lose it anyway. So probably pushing the pawn, trying to make a queen for black, it makes the most sense. We cannot take here, of course, because he will take, and after takes, this is a draw. So we take his bishop. He pushes the pawn, attacking our knight. Now we can simply play a check. He attacks the knight, and now we simply play knight to f1. The reason we want to play knight to f1 because we want to block the pawn from making a queen. So this knight will never move. And if he tried to, for example, try to move away to try to attack the bishop can land, sorry, the bishop can land all the way there on a6, keep defending the knight so that the king will get closer. And after the king gets closer, okay, now the king has to move somewhere. And when the king does move, you will win this pawn. Now, I know that I told you in the beginning of the video that it's going to be a win for white. Well, this is a theoretical win. It's not like very clear how to win this. Yes, if I have time, let's say I have 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I can probably win this. I probably can do as well. But we have to be honest here. This kind of position, like a checkmate with the bishop and the knight and a king, it is possible, 100% possible, and you've probably seen a lot of YouTube shorts, grandmasters or even random chess players winning this and checkmating the black king in less than 30 seconds. But they prepared for it, they trained for it, but it is possible. So it's not like 100% a draw here. It's not a draw. The black king can move, and then you can try to figure out the solution for this one, or you can checkmate the black king by moving the king and trapping the king in some way, and then you deliver checkmate with the pieces. But this is only if you have time. And if you don't really have time, it will be a draw right away because you're going to lose on time. But a very beautiful way to win the bishop and to remove the pawn from the existence and then reaching a position where it is a checkmate, but it's going to be very, very tricky checkmate to have. And please tell me in the comments, are you capable of checkmating the black king with the bishop and the knight?